Welcome back to the Bits of Bri podcast. I'm your host, Brianna Kay, along with my co-host, Ashley Aaron.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Ashley. How are you?
Hello.
Is it like super stormy where you're at in Michigan
Yes.
today? Yeah.
Yes. And I'm just hoping we don't lose power. And you look so beautiful, Bri. I love your blonde hair.
Okay, you're the best hype girl. I always feel this way every time we get on, but your hair is always perfect. It's always so shiny. I want you to do my hair. The next time we get
Okay.
together, I
Let's
want you
do
to do my
it.
hair. Yeah.
Let's do it. I can't wait.
Yeah, this weather is bumming me out. Is it ever going to be spring?
And it's been so cold. Has it been so cold in Ohio? Like it's freezing here.
Yes. So my kids are on their spring break this week, and I have them for the first 3 days. So we were doing a little Cleveland staycation, went to the Rock Hall, went to West Side Market. That was the first day. We went and had a little movie day. Now today there's a Cavs game, so we're going to go to a Cavs game because they're doing so well this year.
So
And
fun.
Landon has been begging me. They both the kids love to go. Landon and Presley have
Mhm.
both been begging me. When are we going to go to a Cavs game? So we're doing a little Cleveland staycation, all the Cleveland activities.
I
So
love that. That's so fun. And they're such good kids. They deserve it. I'm so
I
glad
know.
you guys are doing fun stuff.
My mom's gonna come with us to the game too, so it'll be fun. A little bit of
So
grandma
fun.
time too for the
Yes.
kids. I originally had thought, "Oh, I'll bring Hayden, and it can be
Mhm.
his first game," but it's a 7 p.m. game.
Mhm. A little
So
late.
yeah, and so I was just like, I just don't know if it's gonna be as an enjoyable experience for the older 2 kids if Hayden's there, and then, like, what if we have to, like, leave early? So I was just like, at this time, I'm not gonna take him, so my mom was like, "Oh, I'll stay with him, and Gigi's gonna watch Hayden while I take the older 2 with my mom."
Mhm.
So
It's hard with the little ones if someone has to go to the bathroom and you don't have an extra adult there, then everybody has to get up. It's just a lot. So, I think this will be better.
yes, I've learned that as a single mom with 3, those are the moments when it can be really hard when it's like, okay, one person has to go to the bathroom or it is. There's just those moments where if, you had another adult there, it would be so much easier to manage
I
those things.
agree. I
So,
agree. It just going
yeah.
to the bathroom, going and getting a snack, all of that stuff way faster with 2 adults. So,
Yeah.
thanks, mom. Thanks for going to the game. That'll be fun.
Do
It is
you
what it is.
like going to sporting events?
We used to love basketball, but as
Mhm.
I've gotten older, we just love football.
I'm more of an in-person girl. Like I won't really care to watch them on the TV. I don't
Right.
I don't watch games on TV. I like to go in person and I like to be there and feel the energy and see the
The energy.
dancers or they always do fun entertaining things throughout the game too. So,
And
have you
getting
ever been
dressed
on one
up.
of the kiss cams?
No, never. You were?
So it was when I lived in Baltimore. So me and the guy that I would go out on dates with, it was actually very kind of awkward because his dad had come into town. And so it was me, him, and his dad at an O's game. And they put me and him on the kiss cam. And I mean, it was very innocent. He just like pecked me, but I was like, of course, of all the games that you're at, it's like the one with his dad.
Would you if
Yeah,
you were on, like, a first date at the Cavs game and it was the kiss cam, would you do it or no?
probably. I mean, if I liked the
Yeah.
person,
Why
yeah.
not?
Wouldn't that be a cute first kiss story?
That would be so cute,
Yeah,
actually.
that
Okay,
would actually
guys,
be
in
really cute.
Cleveland, if you hear this and you take Bree to a game, that would be a cute story. Keep that
That
in
would be
mind.
so cute. I've been thinking about this. I'm just gonna bank all of my cute dating stories, and maybe I'll turn them into romance novels.
Please do.
Like, make it so that they actually work out or, like, what would have happened if they actually worked out?
We
Like
love a happy ending.
or maybe
Yeah.
the happy ending is that, like, they don't work out and you're just happy by yourself.
No, stop it. Your husband's coming. We're past that. Remember when I said I liked you dating? I'm past that now. I'm ready for you to have your husband, to have your really, I'm just ready to go on the bachelorette trip because I know you. You love to travel. You love a trip. I feel like you would plan. Actually, we would help you plan, but it would be the most epic bachelorette trip ever. So,
Okay,
we need a
this might
husband.
sound crazy. I had this idea because my
Yeah.
friend the other day she came over to help me try on outfits for Miami because I was finalizing everything.
Mhm.
And I had bought this dress and she's like, save the money because I was trying to save money. And she's like, I have a blue dress that I never wore that I bought last year. I'm going to bring it over. And I was like, okay. And she was going to borrow some of my outfits. And I was like, bring over the dress and help me figure out shoes and accessories for a couple of my outfits kind of thing. So it was fun. We had like a little try on girls' day.
I love that.
While we were trying stuff on, she was like, "So, what are we gonna do for your bachelorette party the next time you get married?" And I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, don't even have a boyfriend, don't even have a date, but we're gonna plan my bachelorette party." And I said, "Well, there's 2 things that I think would be so much fun that I would wanna do." And why the hell not? It will be my second wedding. But do you have 2 bachelorette parties for that? And I just let people pick, like, come whichever weekend you wanna come. There's gonna be
Yes.
2 because it's
Yes.
the second wedding.
I love that. It's a
Why? Because
great
why
idea.
not?
Mhm.
So one's gonna be a snow and one's going to be a sun. And here's my dream bachelorette parties. So did you hear that thunder? I wonder if the microphone's gonna pick that up. That was crazy.
When you were talking, you should have seen the lightning behind you. Oh my gosh,
Was
and now
there
it's thundering
lightning?
here, and now it's
Ah!
pouring. It just
Oh my
started.
gosh.
How
Okay.
are we in different states having the exact same weather? It's wild.
We're not that far from each other though,
True.
really, for like a weather, like a lot of your weather patterns come right down
Mhm.
here. I really want my snow bachelorette party to be like Snow Bunny Bride. And
Yes.
whether it's Vail, because like I've been to Vail and I love it. Somewhere out west, I feel like would be ideal.
The outfits would be amazing.
Yes, and I already have the cutest pair of white knee-high furry boots. That would be my little bride snow boots that I would wear to a little après ski
Perfect.
party. But I think it'd be so fun. Like anybody who skis or snowboard can come on that one. I mean, you don't even have to. Like, there's plenty to do. What I've realized when you go to those resorts, because they like where Lynn and I were, there was an ice skating rink. They had bonfires. They would have little champagne chalets. There's the hot tub where you can get drinks. There's so many good restaurants, shopping. I feel like we could do a spa day one of the days and get massages. And so that could be one of the bachelorette weekend options. Second, the sun option. I want to go back to Stagecoach and have that be sun, desert, country concerts. Oh my god, I would love it because you go to the pool during the day, there's pool parties. You go to the desert at night dressed in your cute little festival outfit, and I think that would be so much fun.
I'm coming to both,
Yes. Okay.
and we'll
Perfect.
podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna have to podcast at both of them,
We
obviously.
have to.
So
The
work
next
trip.
day, hungover, just ready to podcast. No, I'm just kidding, but I don't know how to ski or snowboard, but I've always wanted to learn. So I feel like I'm gonna need
Is
someone to
there
teach.
is there like a hill by you in Michigan? Because like
Oh,
that's where you
there's
should learn
definitely.
is on like the little Michigan, Ohio hill. And then
Yeah.
you go out west once you know how to do it.
See,
So
I'm just afraid of heights, so it's the ski lift for me. I feel like that's the part where I would struggle. You know what? I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack even just thinking about it. Let's not. Maybe I will be shopping or in the hot
oh,
tub
you
while
can
you guys
say
are
yeah.
skiing, you know?
Yep.
I can order drinks and have food ready as soon as you guys are done skiing, or I could take pictures.
Pictures, the après ski parties.
Oh,
There's a
the
lot we
party?
can
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, the après ski party, I think, is where it's at. So
Mhm.
yeah, that would
I
be so
love
much
this.
fun.
Coming. So we're just figuring out all the details. That's okay.
Well, okay, we had questions over on Instagram. We put a little Q&A box up and there's some interesting questions, Ashley. Feel like you could have like been burned at the stake in the past life.
Brie, absolutely. Come on. I have so many opinions. Half the time when you and I are talking, I'm like, should I not have said that? Should I not have said that? I can be a bit much.
Oh my god, you're not.
Yeah.
You are just enough as you
Well,
are. You're
thank you.
perfect.
Thank you. But yes, too many opinions, way too vocal. Definitely not doing what I'm told. I have a problem doing what I'm told. That's the thing.
Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I don't know. I should ask my therapist, where does that come from? I always just assumed it was my personality. Like whenever you take like those tests, like Enneagram tests and all of that. Um and then also my sign being a Capricorn. I feel like every time I learn different things about myself, it's always just like, strong, lots of opinions, fighter, wanting everything to be equal. That's another thing. Things were not very equal back then when they were being burned at the stake. And I have a deep, deep like feeling of needing everything to be equal. It's a problem for
Mm.
me. So, I don't know where that comes from. You'll have to
You feel like it was,
psychoanalyze.
like, in your family growing up?
Well, I do come from a line of very strong, independent women, so probably. I mean, even my grandparents, all the women in my family are very strong with lots of opinions. So, yeah, it's probably just how I was raised. I don't know. Why do you think I feel you're that way too? Why do you think you're that way? You have opinions.
Sort of similar to you. I know one of my great grandmas was a suffragette, like, she was in the marches for women's right to vote,
Love that.
and then I feel like I look at my mom and my grandma, and I feel like they're both very outspoken, opinionated women, and I know that my dad's mom, from everything I was told, was like she was always competing even against the boys in sports, like, I guess there's like a marble tournament or something, and she beat all the boys, and it was this, like, huge deal. I mean, I know it was marbles, but she was also a tough cookie. She tried out for
Yeah.
the Olympics for gymnastics. She was in
Wow.
roller derby. Like, she was in very high contact
Roller
physical
derby.
sports,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think she was just this badass woman, and I know from what I was told, like, my poppy and her even met because she was working in a factory. She was like a little Rosie the Riveter back during I wanna say it was during World War II, if I'm putting it all together, like, timeline-wise. And yeah, so I think she just always was kinda this power woman, so I guess
Love
genetics,
that.
right?
Yes.
Have some
Yes.
yeah.
When you are surrounded with women who have done so much and have kind of paved the way, it's hard not to follow that. Because you
Yeah.
see it, it's so inspirational, right? And you're
Yeah.
just like, I want to do that. And then you do. But I've been very blessed because I have always had good men in my life too. So I'm not like a male hater. I love men.
Well, and you say that, and I mean, everybody I think who's followed for a long time knows about my dad and just how
Oh,
much,
yeah.
my dad played an impact in all of that too. And I do like, even when you're saying that, he was, making me join the golf team in high school because he said, you're
Yes.
never going to be left out of a business meeting on the golf course because you're
Hmm.
a woman who doesn't know how to golf.
Hmm.
And I got so many crazy opportunities in my life because I'm a woman who knows how to golf, like, very
Yeah.
random. And so I know he's right. So I think it helped as well having a father who made it very clear to me that do not let your sex ever hold you back from,
Hmm.
what you want to do in business, in life. And yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
I appreciate the men who are also just as encouraging and understanding of
Yes.
women and our experience. So,
I agree. We
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
And that's why they make strong women.
Yep.
I love this question because I know you and I love this movie. So,
Okay.
do you remember The Notebook?
Love The Notebook, definitely. Oh my I cried my eyes out in a theater watching that in high school. Cried my eyes out.
Like ugly cry. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that movie. Okay, so this is a question. Growing up is realizing Allie should have picked Lon over Noah. So, if you had to pick one, who would you choose for her?
Mm. Okay. I might have been a weirdo in high school. The first time I saw it, I remember having the thought of, why would she leave Lon? Because even though I knew that, Noah and her had something obviously very special when they were young, it felt like, well, you've grown up now and you met a man that your family approves of, who's so good to you, obviously had a great job, was successful, and I mean, obviously it was a movie, so he's was handsome. It seemed like they were attracted to each other. It seemed like she was happy with him too. And I remember thinking, why would you betray a man that, you accepted his proposal, you're planning this
Mhm,
wedding with him? In my head, the first time I watched the movie, I questioned her very much.
mhm.
But then I think you think about it a little more and you have some experiences and you fall in love yourself and you do sort of realize there are just some people that forever, like, steal your heart. I don't know how else to explain it, but you're just like, yeah, if that person were to walk back through the door, like, they just have this magical love pull on me that
Mhm,
nobody else has. And so I think if you think of it that like that was her Noah, probably in comparison, even though somebody was great and could offer her a wonderful life as well,
mhm,
Noah clearly still showed, if we like think about like how men through actions, he wrote her a letter every single day. It was that she didn't get the letters. She probably never would have ended up with Lon if she got the letters. Right. And then this man
absolutely.
built her the house she wanted. Like, I do feel like Noah's actions and, like, I think there's also different respect, like, she knew where Noah came from, and it seemed like
Mhm,
maybe Lon was handed a lot of the things that he had to provide stability, whereas
mhm,
Noah really worked for it all for her,
mhm.
and so I could see why in her head she'd be like, "Well, no, like, Noah was who has, like, my heart, he was my first love, and then he proved himself through these letters every single day, through building me this house," and I can see why she chose him, but I remember in my brain back then, I was like, "Why would you betray this man?" I don't know, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts were almost exactly the same. Now, just now though, as a mom, Aubrey's about to be 16.
Yeah.
If she was to come to me with Noah or Lon, I would probably say Lon. Only because as a mom, you know that he'll love for her, he'll care for her. Clearly, she came from money. You can marry a man and he's going to love you and he'll take care of you and all of this. But don't you want to have like the passion in your life and your one great love? And I feel like Noah was her one great love. He cared about her passions. He built that house around her being able to paint. He remembered every detail of what she described she wanted. And so, as a mom, I would realize I messed up. I should have told you to pick Noah, but I probably initially would have picked Lon just like her parents did because it's just an easy, safe life and you want your kids to have, security. But she would have passion and she did, and a beautiful life with Noah. But it's a little riskier. How could she like, not know the full story and pick the right person. Like, her mom really did her dirty. She did, saving those letters. But as a mom, now I'm kind of like, I wonder if I'd do the same. Like, probably not. That's evil. But I can see where her mom was coming from. She just really wanted to make sure she was taken care of, and especially in a time like that. I mean, the movie was set a long time ago, but women didn't have the same opportunities that they have now. And I can see why her mom did what she did. But Noah is her one true love, and she probably would have been married to Lon and thought about Noah for the rest of her life. And I don't think that's fair to Lon. I think he should be with someone who loves him the way she loved Noah.
Right, that's what we want for everybody. That's so true. I feel like every person you want them oh my god, these storms. Just crack-a-lacking over here. I wonder if I really like, if I listen to this and the
I
microphone
can hear
isn't
it.
picking any of this up, I'm gonna sound like a crazy person, but it is oh my gosh, the
No, you
thunder's
can
wild
see
right
the
now.
lightning behind you.
Like I'm podcasting in a haunted house right now. But no, it is, it's really interesting because I think as a parent, it really is, like, you go into this protective mode for your kids where you want them to choose what's safe, and I think that is something interesting to think about, like, even though Lon was the safe choice, was it what is actually gonna lead her to being the happiest? And I think at the end of the day as a parent, that's all we want for our kids is for
Mhm.
them to be happy.
I
So
agree. I agree. She made the right choice, but man, that was messy. She like passed out while trying on her wedding dress just because she saw a clip in the newspaper. Could you imagine if you found out your husband was trying on his tux for your wedding and he passed out because he saw a picture? Like, that's what I mean when I say it's not fair. Like, he should be with someone who loves him that much, and she should. And also, growing up is realizing she was a little too physically abusive. I'm not a boy mom, but I didn't like how she was always putting her hands on Noah. I didn't like that too much. And that's why I'm glad I don't have a son because I'd be like, why does that woman keep beating you up? Like when we were younger, it was like, oh, she's fiery. Oh, she's spicy. And it's like, no, she was always hitting him. I did not like that. But Noah brought that out in her, and I feel like she never would have acted like that with Lon. I love that movie, and I loved that question or that like statement. So I was glad we got a chance to talk about it.
well, yeah, because it is interesting to think about because every person I know has somebody that would they would say is their Noah, and not everybody picked their Noah.
Yes, and if you
right?
haven't had your Noah, that's so sad, you have to keep looking. Keep looking, you will find it. Yeah, everybody can say and hopefully you married your Noah. Wouldn't it be sad to say, like, that's the
Well,
one that
that's what
got
I'm saying.
away?
I have a lot of people, not a lot, I would say it's 50-50, where some people pick the safe choice
Oh, yeah,
or,
for sure.
like, they let their Noah get away, and other people did pick their Noah.
It was
Well,
safe.
anybody who's listening or watching over on YouTube, leave in the comments, would you have picked Noah or Lon? I wanna see where
Yeah,
people
and why?
fall on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and why? Tell us
And don't
why.
pick Lon because he was, like, 6'4" or 6'3", however tall he was, because we all know then that's, like because I feel like Noah was a little
Ashley and
shorter.
the height thing, she always brings up the height. Take height out of it, take
I'm
all
about
the
to Google who
other
was
qualities
taller.
of each man and say which would you have chosen and why.
I just know that so many of our, viewers, they, share the love for height like we do, Brie.
I mean, I said there's just something about for me when I fit right under their chin, I love that. Don't ask me what it is, I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah, if you could go back of everybody you dated or even recently or maybe even when you were younger, would you have maybe picked somebody and started a life with them?
That's such a hard question because obviously then I wouldn't have had my kids, right? If I would have picked anybody
Yeah.
before.
Take kids out of it. Those 3 beautiful, healthy babies, don't think about them, pretend like you have no children. Do you care to share more, or is that it?
I mean, so yeah, I definitely had someone who treated me so well, and I think he would have been a wonderful husband. I think we would have been really happy together.
I don't know, this one might be good, but it might not because I feel like I know a lot of your dating stories and I can't think of what your answer would be, but I'm gonna ask you anyways because I feel like
Go
people
for
really
it.
wanna know.
Okay.
Okay. Dating activity you tried once and will never do again.
Ooh. Um, One thing that I probably shouldn't have done, I just feel like it is a little bit risky for a first date is going on a hike with someone.
Bree,
I did. I went on a hike with somebody for a first date.
first date?
Yeah.
Bree, that's wild.
I knew the hike though, like I'd done it before and people had like my location
Okay. Of
and I
course, of
drove
course.
separately, but still I feel like for a first date, probably not.
Was it like a
Like, I wouldn't
blind date?
recommend it. It was absolutely fine, like, we had a great time, like, it wasn't that there was anything wrong with the date. It's just when I thought about it afterwards, I'm like, "Yeah, probably just not the smartest thing to do with somebody you haven't met before."
Not the safest.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
right?
agree.
So,
Did you meet through friends or no?
no.
Oh
So
my
that's
gosh,
why
Bree.
I really shouldn't have, but,
Well, I'm glad I asked that one then.
I
Okay,
mean, like, I
ladies.
Googled, I knew he was a real person, I knew where he was
Yeah.
from, I knew, everything we talked about beforehand, but
Mhm.
yeah, I just again, I feel like probably for women out there, there's safer first date options.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Okay. That's a good answer though. I like that one. And it's a little, public service announcement. Don't do that, ladies.
Just being honest.
I love when you're honest. Okay.
I'm always honest, too
No, you
honest.
are. You know that I
I
know the
tell
real
too many
stories.
details.
So if you weren't honest, I'd be like, "Bree, tell what really happened." But no, you always are so good about that. You really share in a very respectful way everything that happened. That's what I think, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
feel like you share it all. This one is kind of good. This one's
Okay.
kind of good, but also like I don't even know what the answer could possibly be. How do you tell a partner he stinks?
Like, smells, like body
Yeah.
odor?
Yeah.
Oh. At first I was like, "Do you mean like that he just, like, sucks as a partner?" Like, you know what I
No,
mean?
we
Like
could easily do that, but
oh
no.
gosh.
That's a
I
hard one,
mean,
right?
I think it's actually, no, I don't think it's that hard, but I think it's
Okay.
more, do you wanna be the messenger or are you gonna have somebody else? Because I think there's a side of it that you could almost have a best friend, like, say to
Oh,
their best friend, like, "Dude, you need to tell him that he stinks," like, as his friend, like,
okay.
And you could like you say to the best friend, be like, I don't want to hurt his feelings. I really like him, but like you need to say something to him of like, you know, I feel like guys do that better anyways. I feel like they could like almost make fun of each other more and then like they still learn the lesson
Yeah.
to fix it, but I feel like it might be better coming from a different messenger than you. But then I also just feel like there's a way to be honest about it of buying whether it's like deodorant, body wash, whatever it is,
Mhm.
and be like, "I love this smell and I think you should use this." You know, that would be
Yeah.
kind of I feel like the nice way to say like, "Hey, I would like you better if you smelled good using
Yeah.
these products." Um, but then there's another side of me. There's a lot to do with pheromones and how attracted you are to somebody through their scent.
Mhm.
And I've seen
Mhm.
this on multiple dating shows where they'll have all the guys' shirts and they'll have the girl smell it. And it's supposed to really be like it's your biology's way of saying, like, this is the right person for you. So
Yes.
I would just throw out the question, maybe for whoever asked this, like, are you sure he's the right person for you? Or is your body maybe telling you he's the wrong one because you think he stinks? Like,
No, girl, you literally took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that to begin with, but I'm like, no, let me not because I don't know how that's going to be received. But can
what?
I tell you, Steven, he could play basketball. We work out at the gym together. You know, we work out together every evening. And I have never, we've been married, what, 16 years? I always forget how many years we've been married. He always remembers, but it's been a long time. I've never smelled him smelling bad before. And
See?
that my doctor told me that. I remember it was my OBGYN, like when we had Aubrey, he said some people just have like insane chemistry. And so, I mean, I've never heard anyone tell Steven he doesn't smell good. So maybe he just is a clean person. But I'm telling you, he smells so good. I think that you're right. The
Mm,
person asking this, like, is it a chemistry thing? I wonder.
yeah.
But I do think positive reinforcement is always the way to go. But if you have a friend who's willing to like do the work and say
Yeah.
like you smell bad, because
Yeah.
if the person's not showering, I don't think chemistry is going to make a difference. Like you should be showering, you should be have like proper hygiene. Plus,
Yeah.
that's like one of the best thing about men. Like they smell so good, just like they always say we smell so good. So why
Oh my
wouldn't you want
gosh.
to?
I
Right?
there's nothing I love more than when I get into a man's car and you can smell him and whatever his cologne is, like, in
Yes.
the car. It is
Yep.
such a turn on. It is such a
Yes.
turn on when you get into a guy's car and you're like, "Oh my god, it smells so good in here. It smells like him."
Brie, you're not the only woman to say that. I remember some of my friends like growing up. One, she lived in Puerto Rico and she said that she would always fall for the men who would like come pick her up with like the air conditioning blasting because you can imagine it was hot there and his whole car would smell like cologne or smell like him.
Mhm.
That's a thing. Women
Mhm.
really do say that. And I
Mm,
agree with
smells
you.
so good. It smells so
See,
good.
summer's right around the corner. We're gonna have that all over again.
I did not expect that last question. That was hysterical.
That was a good one,
Yeah,
right? It's
out of
kind
all
of
the Q&As
funny.
I've done, I've never gotten a question like that. That one was I don't know why, that just hit different. What do you do when your boyfriend stinks?
Like you said, it
Great.
might be a chemistry thing, but oh,
Mhm.
you know what else was really interesting? I saw a show. It was called the it was on Netflix. It was years ago. I think it was called The Science of Sex Appeal. And it broke down all of that. Like you said, like the pheromones and the actual chemistry. So it was a rating of like 1 through 10 what their beauty was
Oh.
based on like how symmetrical their face was, their features, their body. And it was like a scientific breakdown. It wasn't like what we think is beautiful here in America versus like in Europe or Asia. It was nothing like that. It was like how symmetrical your face is, like the fullness of your hair, height. I mean, we could talk about height always, but people are really gonna start roasting me about the height thing. They're gonna be like, Ashley, you've made it your entire personality at this point. Like, pick something else. But I'm telling you, I really have neck problems from my love of tall men, but it doesn't help that Steven's so tall. But anyways, they matched, Brie. The ones paired, the eights paired, the sevens paired. It was so wild to see, and I just couldn't believe
Mm.
it. Yeah, because they say, women can be attracted to like what a man can do for you. So like their car or like the companies that they've built or things like that. But if you just take it down to the science and you put all these people in a room, you will pair with someone who's usually on your level. If you take like money if you take, like, external factors out of it, just pure physical attraction. Isn't that so interesting?
That's really interesting. It makes me think, did you ever watch that show? I think it was called Naked Attraction. It
No.
was it's a British game show where part
Okay.
by part, they show the people's bodies and you keep eliminating like which one you want out until you get to, your final two, and then you pick your final person when you see them fully naked. And I think generally the show saves a portion of their face. Like I think maybe like they might show you their eyes or something
Okay.
until you see their full face at the end. But yeah, you see their different body parts. And I mean fully naked. Like you see penises, vaginas, like you see everything. There is not anything covered up on this show.
That would be awful for somebody's self-esteem, like, you got eliminated because they didn't like your vagina. Could you imagine? Like, they liked your legs, they liked your arms, they liked your stomach, they liked your butt, then they saw your vagina. They were like, "No, we're eliminating her." Could you imagine what that would do to your self-esteem?
I mean, just the whole show, it was one of those like very I don't know, like watching the show, I was just like, I don't know if this really, like speaking for myself, if this is
Right.
necessarily how I would ever find a partner. Like that's just
No.
not like I just feel like there's so many more qualities that when I meet
Yes.
somebody, it's what
Yes.
kind of our what's the quality of our conversation?
Mhm.
Again, are you
Does he make me
adventurous?
laugh? Is
Yes,
he
it really doesn't have anything to
adventurous?
do with, like, the
Is he
shape. Like, yes, I could
playful?
sit there, and if you just were having me be like, "Okay, of these 3 penises, which ones do you like the look of the most?" Of
Right.
course, I could pick one, but that doesn't mean that I would be like, "Oh, then that
That's
means I
my
would want
husband.
to." Yeah,
Right.
that's my husband, like.
Right. No, I agree, and I think that was what the point of science of sex appeal is that there's, like, the science behind it, right? Like you said, like, the pheromones, the chemistry, the actual attraction that you can do the research and have and say, "Okay, yes, this is a real thing." But then in real life, that all goes out the window. I mean, yeah, occasionally you'll see 2 tens walking down the street, but I know for me, all the times that I did hair, I can honestly say there was always probably one person in the relationship who was more attractive than the other, and it tend to be the women. It was just
Yeah,
interesting. It
yeah.
was interesting, but you're right. A certain shaped penis is not going to be how you determine who your husband is. I don't think that's a good idea.
But that is an interesting point you bring up though too, because I will say most women, the advice I get over and over again is find a man who likes you more than you like them. Like, and like, people always say, like, obviously you should
Yes.
love them, but like,
Yes.
find the man who loves you a little bit more than you love him. So it's kind of interesting your point of how you're like, oh, there's always seems to be women that are a little more attractive than their husband.
Have you fallen down the rabbit hole of Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco?
Oh my gosh, don't we all want a Benny Blanco?
Well, I feel like I have one, but
Yeah. I know you're a
I
lucky girl, but
but
everybody wants a Benny.
I'm telling you, that man and to see I mean, who knows if all the stuff people say about her and Justin are real. I mean, it's all, like, tabloids and stuff, so it's like, how much can you
Well,
really
wait, what have you heard?
but just that, like, they were young and that their love was really toxic to this man who seems so, like, emotionally intelligent and so mature, and also, he clearly loves her more than she loves him, and I think she loves him, but I think that might be her biggest fan, and I think that like, I'll literally be scrolling on TikTok, and I'm like, "Oh, this is like a Selena and Benny Blanco, like, fan page." No, it's his actual profile, and he posts her like he's her number 1 fan, and
Oh.
I mean, he says, like, every day he looks at her and he's like, he cannot believe that she is with him, and, like, isn't that the love that we all want?
Oh my gosh, that's so
I
sweet.
know. When Selena got engaged to Benny, everybody was like, "Why him? Why him?" But I could just tell the way he moved around that woman, which don't I tell you this, Brie? I'm like, "Send me a video of how that man moves. I'll be able to tell you if I like him or not."
You have. There's been a couple of people that when I've dated them and I'm talking to Ashley about them, like, I can send pictures, but she's like, "No, I need to see a video." Like, I can tell
Yeah.
by how they move.
Yes, I know,
Yeah.
it's the strangest thing, and if somebody was to say, like, "Well, how should they move?" I don't know. It's a feeling, it's something that I just need to see for myself, and I could just tell he loves her so much, and you could tell she was just so at peace, and she was so happy. So then, of course, when all the videos, him gushing about her, now everybody is like, "Girl, we get it now. We get it." But it's like, sometimes it's not about the looks, especially when you're in the spotlight like she is, or you've had toxic relationships. She's probably coming from a more healed place now and is looking for a happy, healthy, like adult relationship, like we would all hopefully want. And man, she won the jackpot with that one. If they stay together, they will have such a beautiful life.
There might be some relationships out there that are Noah and Allie relationships,
Mhm.
but then there are more evolved and mature ones, and I feel like that's what the Benny and Selena are. Like, I feel like that really is 2 people that both went through a lot. Like, even her story, like, growing up, she was basically raised by I think her mom was 16 when she had her,
Very young.
and, was pushed very young into child acting so that the family could have money,
Mhm.
and we look at her now and it's like, oh, she's this like glamorous, like, look at all she's achieved, so successful. But that's a lot of stress on a very little person.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
it is a lot of stress to always feel like I need to look my best on camera. I need to be bringing home all this money to support my family. And you're doing that as a child when like you're
As a
supposed to like
child.
not have a care in the world. So, I feel like she's also gone through probably whether you wanna say
Some trauma.
trauma or very high levels of stress. I know she
Mhm.
suffered from an autoimmune condition, which I can only imagine is a result of all that
Lupus.
stress and
Yeah.
pressure that she probably has felt.
Mhm.
And clearly, though, what she's, I think, such a beautiful example of is, like, she never gave up. She kept going,
Never.
worked on herself through the health issues, through the toxic relationships, and look at what it now has resulted in for her. She's
Yes.
met a healthy, emotionally mature man who's her
Mhm.
biggest fan, and I mean, that's so beautiful and encouraging to see. I feel like for anybody out there who's seeking that.
I completely agree, and some men are like, "Benny's out here, he's doing too much," and it's like, what part of what he's doing is too much? He literally said that she just wants to be told, "I love you," she wants to be told she looks beautiful, and she wants a phone call at the end of the night if he's going to be late or if he ends up going somewhere else other than where he's like, what part of that is asking too much? I feel like that's what all of us women want, and he is just like, "All you have to do is listen." Women tell you what they want, and we do.
Mhm.
I feel like, especially when women are in bad situations, you're begging that man to change for so long, like, you're telling him what you want, they never have to guess, and
That's actually what I think sorry to interrupt you, but I think that's where men get it wrong, is they almost think that it's like, "Oh, I just have to listen." It's like, no, it's actually that you have to ask and listen. You have to ask, "Are you okay? How are you
Mhm,
feeling? What would make this better for you right now?" I feel like if you just ask those 3 things to the woman that you love and care about, and then
mhm,
actually listen to what she says, and then as a man come up with the solution, like, that's what men love to do. They love to problem solve. They love to figure stuff out. Problem solve
mhm.
based on what my answers are.
Yes,
It's
yes.
it's like that is literally it's so simple, and I just don't understand why men don't seem to get that.
Well, and I feel like that's exactly what you just described is exactly it, Brie. He said that she came from relationships where she had issues with trust. So for him, he's like, okay, if she has issues with trust, I'm gonna make sure she knows where I'm at all times. Cause obviously they're both highly successful people with their own businesses. I mean, I think she's like a billionaire, almost a billionaire now because of her makeup line. It's been so successful. But they both obviously are not always going to be in the same place at the same time. So keeping that open communication, he said checking in with her, reassuring her that he's not going anywhere, that he loves her, all of that. It didn't seem like effort or work. It just seemed like common sense to him.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
willing to do it because that's his dream girl. Remember, we always talk about like that's his dream girl, so he'll do anything for her. And all these men are like, he's doing entirely too much. No, sir, you are not doing enough. and it's honestly bare minimum. Like,
Yeah.
it's bare minimum. It's not that
Yeah.
hard. So,
Yeah.
I love seeing their relationship. I don't even know how we just fell down this rabbit hole, but I love it. I love it.
I know, I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy for her.
No.
And for him too. I mean, obviously, he's got, like, such a catch. Because again, like, when I just think of her
Oh, yeah.
story and, like, what she's done, it's amazing.
Mhm.
So,
And you're right, I forgot that she was working at I mean, I know that's how she met Justin, she was working at such a young age, is how they met each other, but yeah, you just think about now that you're an adult and you have a family of your own and you're providing for that family, I couldn't imagine being a child providing for my family, like,
yeah,
how stressful that would be.
yeah.
Wild. And now she's so successful. Do you know how they first met? I can't remember.
I don't, but I
I
know
don't
he is
either.
in the music industry too,
Right.
so I'm gonna assume it had to have been somehow connected
Yeah.
through all of that. So,
But
yeah.
imagine if he asked her out and she's like, "No, you're not my type." Because like, physically, obviously, he doesn't look like Justin, I don't know if that's her type anymore. But see, maybe you should give somebody a chance who is not traditionally your type. You could end up with a Benny, living happily ever after.
I will say though, you've seen who I've dated. I feel like I've dated a
A
very
variety.
yeah,
You've
for
done
that
well.
very reason because to me, one, I definitely again, I know what a type is of a certain
Mhm,
look that I like.
mhm.
But to me, it's always more about what is our conversation like? Do you like to do the same activities and things that I want to do? Do your future aspirations line up with what my future aspirations are?
Yes.
Is how we
Yes.
live our daily life similar? And that to
Yep.
me, like I will weed out the one that I think is might be really cute. If we don't have that in common, then it's a
It
no for
doesn't
me.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how you find your husband faster. Ladies, that's how you do it right there. You think about the things that are a little bit deeper, not just surface level, but obviously if you're divorced, I feel like women are already doing that, right? You don't wanna make the same mistakes again, and maybe you want different qualities than what your ex had. So, I love that advice. That's good advice, Bree.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this question, and I feel like you have to answer honestly, though.
I always answer
I know.
honestly.
I know, but I just have to, start with that. Are you currently dating? And how many are on the
Um
roster? I added that last part.
How many are on the roster? I mean, I don't even know what's considered to be, like, on the roster. I guess, like, yeah, like, if somebody's asking me out on a date, I would go. So I
Yeah,
think I'm out there dating, but yeah, I'm not in an exclusive relationship with anybody, if that's
okay.
more what it's asking,
Yeah,
right? But
that's
if
exactly what they were asking.
okay,
Yeah,
but
are
if
you
I
current
meet somebody who was the right you know, all the things we just talked about, I would go out on a date with them. So
do you feel like your type has changed from when you first, like, got divorced and you were out looking for people versus now? I mean, I know you've healed a lot and you've changed, but would you say physically you have considered anybody recently that you wouldn't have maybe in the past?
The height has never been, like, a deal breaker for me. I know for
Mhm.
some people it is. So, I would say, yeah, if, like, we match on everything else and they're not, over 6 foot, that wouldn't phase me. I would still go out with them.
Right.
It's never bothered me. But I would say the one thing that maybe I have gotten a little bit more picky about is actually their like, do they have an active lifestyle? If they aren't, like,
Okay.
physically fit, then I'm like, I don't think that's gonna work for me and my
No,
lifestyle because of where I'm at.
exactly. And your
So
kids are active, you are
right.
active. I just feel like I agree with that. That would not be a good fit overall because if they're just kind of a more lazy person or just a homebody who doesn't like to move a lot, I don't feel like that would be a good match for
Yeah.
you. So that's a good point.
And I think that in your, 20s, let's say, men don't necessarily have to be, like, living at the gym, and they still have that 20-year-old manly body.
Mhm.
Do you know what I
Yep.
mean? Whereas now it is very apparent when it's somebody in their 40s who either is having an active lifestyle where they've taken care of themselves or they aren't. And so I'm very much, now I feel like a little more pickier when it comes to that because I know how I am. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah, and we're getting
Yeah.
to an age where it's not just about looks, it's about your health, right?
Yeah.
And you need to be healthy and you need to be strong,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's really, really important. I think that should be important for everybody our age, because if you aren't active and taking care of yourself at 40, could you imagine how much pain or the type of issues you're gonna have by 60?
Right. And
Yeah.
I think just being a mom too, it's like I know, especially being a single mom, I have to be at my best, like optimum health, or
Yes.
I would just be too tired to deal with all the things that I have to deal with on my own. Like,
Mhm.
we were talking earlier, just like the little things of like, okay, all three of you, we have to go here now because so and so has to go to the bathroom, or just, I feel like I have to be in optimum health to properly function as a single mom. And
I
I feel like
agree.
my partner, I'm looking for the same level of care that they've given themselves.
Mhm. That's a good point, and you've even dated some men who are a little bit older, and they're really active too, so I agree with
Mhm.
that. You definitely have made sure that they fit your lifestyle.
Yeah, I've dated a little older, I've dated a little younger,
Well, we already
you
know
know?
younger, yeah. So they were definitely fit fit your lifestyle, but they may have been missing other qualities, like the professional soccer player,
You love bringing that one up. You love bringing that one up.
or, the one from Stagecoach.
I know. He still DMs me occasionally.
I'm
He's
sure
sweet.
he does.
Yeah, he still slides in those DMs from time to time. He's sweet. Yeah.
They always are. The young ones are always sweet, but the
Mhm.
older ones, they just really know how to date. I'm
They
sorry.
do.
People definitely don't know about you, but I wish that they did know. And tell me if you feel comfortable sharing this.
Okay.
I would love for you to discuss why it's important for you to have a man who's a provider. And I don't know how much I can say about like how you've provided for your children and what your life has been like. So if you could just share, because I feel like we get comments where they're like, why are you so hung up on having a provider type man? And
Yeah.
I think that you could really talk about that and explain it in a way that they understand that it's not just about money.
There's 2 things I've realized in life and my experiences is I have been so blessed to have been led to do YouTube as my career so that I could not only support my family, but have the time for my 3 kids as a single mom, that I have a flexible schedule where I'm still working, but I can work, different hours, work when I don't have my kids, work in the evenings when they go to bed, work while they're at school. And so I know God has given me the confidence that I know that I can be an independent woman. And I think so many of you had said, like, I love this about you. Like, one of the reasons I follow you is because you are this fiercely independent woman.
Mhm.
And nothing is going to change that, about me, my personality. I know that I have that confidence. Like, I've worked really hard. I've worked really, really hard. But I also know, like, I can either continue as is, or if I'm gonna make a change in my life, I only want it to be that it's a change for the better. That I'm gonna be with somebody who is like, "Hey, I'm gonna step in here and be a provider in this relationship so that you can take care of what's most important to you, and that's those 3 kids."
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
help build a new home for us, help build a new life for us. Obviously, those are where my strongest skills are that I've shared here on my YouTube channel, right? So that's what I mean. Am I clarifying the question in the right way
Yeah.
or?
I feel like that's exactly it. I feel like it's not just about the money, it's how hard you've worked since the kids were little, and I think it's also important that people understand that you're just at a point where you're just trying to find love, like, your kids have a great dad. You guys, the way that your custody arrangement is set up, like, you have a lot of free time, just like he has a lot of free time because it's split, and during that time, you just wanna find love, you just wanna find your person, like, you don't
Yeah.
need somebody to come in and be their father and do all of the things, like, yes, a bonus dad would be wonderful, and we
Yes,
would want him to love
he
children.
has to want to be a good bonus dad for
Yes.
sure. I will not accept, somebody
Right.
who wants anything other than that. It's exactly what you said. Do have, I feel like, the opportunity here to find love. I want that. I wanna find my Benny.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I wanna build a life and I wanna build a home and make memories together. I feel like I have so much fun, me and the kids, and I do all of these amazing trips and I have all these great experiences. And I just would love to be able to share that with somebody who,
Yeah.
wants to do that as partners together. So,
And your kids are wonderful because they encourage, you trying to find somebody because they see dad happy, right? Like,
yeah,
they
they
see
see that
dad's
Adam's moved
happy.
on. So,
Yes.
yeah.
And they're like, "Now we want mom to be happy." So I just kinda wanted to talk about that a little bit because I feel like I've seen some of the comments and some of the DMs, and people think it's strictly just about money, and they're like, "Why would this successful businesswoman just wanna throw away all of her hard work and just have some man take care of her?" And there's just so much more to it than that, and your kids have a wonderful father, they have a wonderful mother, they wanna see her happy. We're just looking for love, and you're Benny, and I know you're gonna find it.
Well, I am. I think too, I'm just so grateful that, you've joined the podcast and we've gotten to talk about all of these different things because, I've, it's different. It's not what I ever thought life was going to look like.
Right?
But yeah, I know that I'm definitely not alone. Like I just had the other day, a girl I known since high school stopped me in the mall and was like, "I'm getting divorced right now. I've been listening to the podcast. It's been so helpful." And just, I mean, her
Aw.
comment like literally made my week because I was just like, "Thank you so much." So yeah.
Yeah, people keep saying that the podcast is so helpful. Like, even the ones who aren't divorced, people who are married, they're saying it feels like it helps to strengthen their relationship because they hear what it's like out there. Remember, I told you a lot of times people think the grass is always greener on the other side, and it can be. It can if you're in a really bad situation. But if that man is just leaving his wet towel on the floor, like, I promise you, it is not that serious. You're probably just more angry because it's
Yeah.
16 years of that. Also, if that is important to you, he should be listening. But I think these podcasts can help people who are married, people who are divorced. It just really opens up the conversation of talking about like what women deserve and also what just dating is like these days because I feel like it's always changing. Even 5 years ago is so different than how it is right now.
Yeah.
And I personally love it. I'm here for the stories, but I do want you to find your person. And I know that you are because you have amazing children, you have amazing family, and you're gonna find the perfect guy who is just gonna step in and just be that missing piece that you've been looking for. He's gonna fit with your friends, and we are gonna have two bachelorette parties, and I'm coming to both.
Oh my gosh, it will be so much fun. I can't wait.
So much fun.
Well, on that note, I do have to go finish packing for this bachelorette party that I'm going to this weekend. So I'm going to end this week's podcast here, but we'll be back with more episodes and all the updates and answering more of your questions very soon, every Wednesday. So thanks for tuning in today.
Bye.
Bye, loves.